Welcome to Staarcast, a show about tarot, divination, and all things mystical. Staarcast is a celebration of StaarCon, the Southeastern Tarot Artist and Readers Conference. I'm Amy Mauser, and here's your host, Christiana Gaudet.
Thank you for that introduction, Amy, and we are back. I am so excited to be here with a new episode of StaarCast, and very excited to remind everyone that StaarCon 2022 is happening January 21st through 23rd as a hybrid event in person in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and also online on Excellence. Tickets are available now, so go ahead and grab your tickets for either the in-person or the online presentation. Just go to the website, StaarCon.com. Remember, that's StaarCon.com. So with me today is Amber Highland. Hi, Amber. How are you?
I'm great, Christiana. It's wonderful to see you.
It is so great to see you, and I'm so excited to announce that you are a presenter for StaarCon 2022.
I am. I was thrilled when I got your invitation, and I had to accept, and I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be wonderful.
Absolutely. Now, for those who don't know, Amber is the editor and new owner of the magazine, The Cartomancer. I have a copy right here for those of you who are watching the video. Here's the summer edition. And there's one after that that's out now, right?
I do. I have it right here for people online. This is the fall edition, and I'm pretty excited. We're already actually starting the winter one. Is in progress already.
I'm pushing that deadline right now with my article.
Chop.
Yeah, this weekend. I'll be getting it to you after this weekend. So very, very briefly, because I know we're here to do a little something different today, but can you let people know what your presentation will be at StaarCon?
Absolutely. It's called Writing for the Cartomancer 101. So from pitching your idea to it being published with the Cartomancer, how to go about that. I'm giving tips about how to write a magazine article because it's different. You know, as an author, you're used to writing for books. I know you've written for other magazines, but it's very different, even from writing for a newspaper. So there's just little tips and tricks that can help that process along, and also ideas on what's really going to get your pitch noticed and get us all excited on the editorial staff and get it going. So it's going to be great.
Excellent. And we love the Cartomancer. It is such a service to our community to have such a great magazine.
Thank you.
We're so excited. I really hope that StaarCon, my hope for your presentation at StaarCon is that people who have always wanted to write for a magazine will be able to write for you, and that you'll find some great new talent for the magazine.
I hope so. There are so many important voices out there, even people who are starting out in the tarot, divination, metaphysical, esoteric worlds. Their voices matter just as much as the more experienced people. And we want to support and bring all of those voices and share them with everybody. So I hope it goes over well.
Absolutely. So today we're going to do something a little unusual for StaarCast. And I'll just turn it over to you and let you do that thing. How about that?
I know. I get the actual privilege of interviewing you. And this is wonderful. This is just, I love the twist, and people need to know. They need to know little things about you. So the first thing I want to get into, and I know that it's very well known that you have this huge following and you're linked with the Grateful Dead. A lot of people know that, and that the Grateful Dead and touring with the Dead, following them was a big part of how you learned tarot and how you got into this world. Yes. So I want to know what your biggest takeaway from that experience was.
Wow, just one? There's so many. Two. Okay, I'll give you two. I'll give you two. One is this idea that if you want to live a life that is different than the norm, if you want to follow a dream that feels a little crazy, you can. And that comes from two things. It comes from some of the lyrics, especially Robert Hunter's lyrics, that really talk about living life your own way. And it comes from the fact that for decades, a lot of us, I mean, I didn't do it for decades, but, saying us for the whole community, lived an entire odd life of going from show to show. We had our own commerce. We had our own community. We were just modern day travelers doing that thing. And what a weird way to live. But if you wanted to, you could. And those two things together told me that if I wanted to be a full-time tarot professional, which many people then and now would say, yeah, no, that's not even possible. I was like, yeah, it is possible. And here we are. So that's one. The other actually is StaarCon. Now, there's huge differences between StaarCon and what it was to be on tour with the dead. Maybe first and foremost at StaarCon, there will be no porta potties, right? StaarCon is being held in a really nice hotel, the Doubletree Hotel and Executive Meeting Center in Palm Beach Gardens, and also online on Excellence. So here's a thing. One of the things we deadheads say when we don't go to the show but watch it streaming online, we call that couch tour. And you can come to StaarCon on couch tour if you want. That's absolutely a possibility.
Fabulous.
But how is StaarCon like sort of what I took away from my time traveling around watching the dead? That idea of gathering community, that idea of creating a festive environment, and that idea of creating a community that supports people in being exactly who they are. So
fabulous.
There you go.
Yeah, that rolls very nicely into what I was wondering next, because your tarot career really didn't start out at a time where that modality was, it wasn't mainstream, and it was a little, hidden. It's not like so out there as it is now, and so many people can enjoy how prevalent it is in society now. Right. So what was the catalyst that pivoted you from that conventional employment idea into as being an esoteric entrepreneur that you are?
It was the only thing I was really good at.
Uh-huh.
I was really bad at all my jobs. and I knew I was smart, but there was only one thing I was good at. And so really good at. And so I had to find a way to make that a career. And the thing is, at the same time, as I was getting good at reading cards, people were knocking on my door. Hey, this is my friend. I baked you some cookies. Take these cookies and read for my friend, please. And so there was this constant sort of stream of people who just knew me through friends, who felt inspired to bring me presents and have readings and bring their friends for readings. And so clearly people wanted it.
Right. That's wonderful. So great. Okay. As an author of 2 tarot books, Tarot Tour Guide and Fortune Stellar.
Yep.
What do you look for in new divination-based publications? And do you have it in you to write another one?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm going to do that backwards. I have been working on book 3 for years. The goal that I set for publication for book 3 was like 2017 or something. And here we are, 2021, and a whole lockdown later. And that book is still not finished. I'm a little shamed by that, but I've been doing other things too. But I am working on it, and it will be coming out soon. It's affectionately referred to as Project X.
Nice.
And I'll tell you more about it when it's ready for publication. So what do I look for in a tarot book? When I'm reading a tarot book, I'm thinking about, is this a book that I could recommend to my students? And so even an advanced book or a book that has a particular, what do I want to say, specific like subject, like for instance, Nancy Hendrickson's Ancestral Tarot.
Fabulous book.
Right. Isn't that great? I love Nancy. And of course, she is also a StaarCon presenter and also a writer for the Cartomancer.
Yes.
Yes. So a book like that, which really is its own thing, but it is approachable for a new student and interesting and enlightening for someone who's been reading for a long time.
Yes.
So that's what I really look for. Now, I've really enjoyed too, Teresa Reed's Tarot, No Questions Answered.
Yes.
That's a new
absolutely.
book that I really like. Yeah. And that's a great beginner book. But I was like, looking at it like, damn, why didn't I write this book? It's so good. And the sort of book that I would, without hesitation, recommend to any beginner. And that's a great thing.
Yeah. Our world is fabulous, right? And the people we get to connect with, the information that we have access to is wonderful. So what is it about the tarot world that keeps you not only engaged, but also expanding?
So we'll go back and again, this sort of goes like why we have tarot conferences and why I started StaarCon and all of that. I remember the very first conference I went to back in the late 90s. It was an ATA, American Tarot Association regional conference in Albany, New York. And I was in my 30s then. I'd only been a pro reader for a couple of years. And I remember sitting in a room and looking around and feeling for maybe the first time in my life, I really understand these people. And these people really understand me. We're different ages. We come from different places, different cultures, but we all speak this same language. And I think there were moments on Dead Tour, I felt that with my fellow Deadheads, but not as much as I felt with this group of tarotists. And in fact, I wrote about this very thing, in fact, in the most recent Cartomancer, the issue all about community and why tarot community is so important. And that is the thing. It's the community. And that's not to say that I agree with everyone in the community. That's not to say we all like each other, or even that we all get along. But we all speak a language that we understand.
Absolutely. Yeah. And any of those differences or the personality things, all that gets set aside because we have this commonality,
right? And
we have that joining, and we can put that aside and have a discussion, share something, give each other enlightenment, or just kind of blow each other off if we have to. But we get it. The bottom line is we all understand it. We all understand each other. So you are one of the most active and traveling tarot professionals that I know. I mean, given the lockdown must have driven you insane, because I know you're very often going up to Connecticut or other places along the East Coast. So do you feel like that's, I'm thinking it's probably somewhat in your DNA from following the dead. But also, I'm wondering if that is, I just see more people like on the East Coast, the Southeast Coast, kind of doing that migration more than I have experienced out here on the West Coast. So I'm wondering what type of insight you might have about that.
Well, and I've only been to the West Coast a couple of times, once in a Grateful Dead related mission and once in a tarot related mission. So those are the only times I've been there. So I can't really speak to the culture there, except to say this. On the East Coast, our states are, by and large, much smaller. Like I'm from Connecticut. Connecticut, you can drive 2 hours in any direction and you're out of the state. Right? Rhode Island is even smaller. And so we have these tiny little states. And so it's really easy to, just go to another place for lunch, And so I think there is something there. And then we have that, 95 corridor. I think it's so funny that I spent most of my life in Connecticut and New York cursing 95. Here I am in Florida, still cursing 95. But, it is this whole thing. I also think when the colonizers came to the U.S., what became the U.S., that's where we started. We started in New England and pushed from there. So there's probably something in that DNA that's just always pushing, whereas you're out on the West Coast, which is where we push to.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Everything is so spread out here. And I'm originally from Long Island myself.
No way. We're on Long Island.
Nassau County.
I'm from Suffolk County.
Sweet. I went to school in Oyster Bay. I went to high school in Oyster Bay.
Oh my gosh. That's
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When I moved out here, I would drive 2 hours thinking I could go someplace else, and I was still in the same state.
Right.
But almost in the same county in a way, not even. So I think that does have a lot to do with it. And maybe I think people on the East Coast just tend to move for that, back and forth a lot, that traveling. Out here, you kind of get settled and you kind of just stay, So you have to think about it more to go someplace.
Right.
And having been to tarot conferences, I felt that a big reason is to meet, like you said, to meet with like-minded people and have that sense with that unspoken understanding.
Yes.
And just to be with people, right? And to meet people, yes, that are my peers that I can talk with, but then also to get the opportunity to be near and face to face with some of my heroes.
Sure.
It's huge. Right? A little bit of fangirl sometimes, but but it's just amazing experience to, sit there and be, sipping your tea and then, have whoever, Mary Greer or you, sit down next to me and be like, hey.
Certainly. And of course, Mary Greer was one of our headliners for StaarCon 2021. For StaarCon 2022, we have Rachel Pollack and Sasha Graham.
It's fabulous. When I got online, I looked at all the presenters. StaarCon is amazing. So this is the second time you're running StaarCon.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say it out for everybody who don't get the acronym. It's the Southeastern Tarot Artists and Readers Conference.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you originally decide to start StaarCon? We kind of talked about the dead influence there, but I know there's got to be something else.
Sure.
And what is it that makes StaarCon different from any of the other tarot conferences?
Yeah. So it had been in my mind to do this for a long time. I like to create events. I have created tarot picnics with 100 people at them. Seriously. I love to make events. And I think that, we have some great conferences, and obviously COVID has been hard on the conference world. Not everyone has been able to bring in the online thing. We did StaarCon 2021 all online last year, and it went really well. This year, of course, hybrid is a whole new challenge, getting our in-person presenters to work with lapel mics and videographers, but I think it's going to be great. And so a couple of things. First of all, in my infrastructure, I have really good technology. I've got a really good handle on the technology, so I can do that. My company can do that. We can do this. That's one thing. Another thing is I feel like the Southeast region, Florida, has so much great tarot talent, so many great tarot people, and we need a conference of our own. We've had a traveling conference come through, but we need one of our own. And of course, down here in South Florida, we have Ciro Marchetti, we have Lisa Hunt, we have so many great people. We have on the West Coast, but traveling here, we've got Mitchell Osborne, we've got Beverly Frabel. We have just so many great people who go to conferences, who contribute to tarot, who create tarot decks. And so why shouldn't we have our own conference? Now, what makes StaarCon unique? I think a couple of things. And obviously the fact that we are a multi-track conference, meaning we have more than one class running at the same time, and we're going to be hybrid. I don't think anyone's done that before. Even when we were
hybrid version, no.
I don't think anyone's done that before. I think we were the first one to do multi-tracks online.
I think so. And from my experience last year with StaarCon, as a vendor and a participant, it kind of blew me away how smoothly things went, which I know might not have been the case from your perspective.
That's so true.
I understand how things are behind the scenes.
Right.
But the important thing is how it presents to the public, to the presenters, to the vendors, to the participants. And it went so well. And the fact that you're able to access not just the classes for 30 days afterwards, but you had these wonderful little meeting rooms set up, and the different, the different presenters would take their time to sit there. So you could go into one of these rooms and it's like you're having like lunch with Benabel Wen all of a sudden, because she's in this room talking, answering questions about her presentation or about something else we might have. And it's just, you were able to give that sense of camaraderie that you get at in-person events in an online experience. And it was amazing. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And this year we have a great name for that 30 days after. We're calling it the StaarCon Afterglow.
Love it.
And we are going to have pre-scheduled presentations. So it's not just going to be sort of talking about what we did. We've got other things, other surprises planned in the lounges. And of course, 30 days to view all the classes. And this is true not just for the online participants, but the in-person participants as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you get a StaarCon ticket, whatever level ticket you have, whatever classes are in that ticket, you have 30 days, whether you're in person or online, 30 days after to see all the classes, the ones that you missed, the ones that you wanted to see again. And we'll have some special events during that time as well.
That's great. I'm wondering how you feel, what your idea is on what are the benefits to being a presenter at one of these?
Sure. Well, I would say first and foremost, you get a ticket to StaarCon. There is that.
That's huge.
Right. And secondly, it is really great for building your brand, to meet all of these people. And this is true not just for StaarCon, but for any conference. When you present at a conference, you are able to share yourself and introduce yourself with people you haven't met before. And so whatever it is that your business is, whether you're selling readings or magazines or whatever it is, you're going to meet more people, you're going to increase your skills, and you will build your brand and your business. Now, beyond that, and I will say this as someone who has been presenting at conferences since the 90s, never have I gone to present at a conference that I haven't come back with something really valuable that brought me another step forward.
Right.
I went to a conference and I wrote a book, because of a conversation I had, or, whatever. And so when you show up for these conferences, whether you're a presenter, whether you're a vendor, whether you are a participant, very likely you're going to get an idea, you're going to make a friend, you're going to make a connection, you're going to learn something new that is going to stick with you. It's not just a great weekend. It's not just a great 30 days. It will enhance you for life.
Well said, definitely. And that's been my experience also. And again, I think this is fabulous. I know you're kind of coming back of a hiatus and kind of going back into the flow and getting things stirred up for StaarCon. And I can't wait for it. So thank you for everything you're doing. And to all your staff, all the people you have helping you, your volunteers are amazing. Super talented people. You're so fortunate to have them all.
Absolutely. We have a great group of volunteers called the Constellation.
Love it.
And we've added 2 people this year. We've got 2 new people in the Constellation this year. And that would be Brenda Elizabeth and Frank Kwiatkowski. Both local talent. They're both presenters. They presented last year. They're presenting this year. And this year, they're both also on the Constellation helping out. So that is fabulous. And that, like when we talk about how is StaarCon different from other conferences, another big one is how we honor our artists. We are tarot artists and readers. And that's because, one of the big energetic pushes behind this was Ciro Marchetti whispering in my ear saying, you could really do a conference. Only he said it in his beautiful accent, which I can't imitate. And so we really, I think so often we think about tarot, we love tarot, but we forget that without the artists who make the cards, what would we be reading with exactly?
Right.
And so we have so many presenters who are deck artists, deck designers, and we're so excited to honor that aspect of what we do.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous for what you do and how the worlds are brought together. And I can't wait. I mean, I usually don't like to wish my time away, but I'm kind of like, is it January already?
So to remind everyone, StaarCon will be held online on Excel events and in person at the Doubletree Hotel and Executive Meeting Center in Palm Beach Gardens, January 21st through 23rd. And that's 2022. So it's coming up. It's time to get your tickets. Amber Highland, I want to thank you so much for being my guest or me being your guest or having this.
Thanks for me taking over.
Thank you so much. We will look forward to seeing you at StaarCon. And just tell me, if people are not already subscribing to the Cartomancer, how can they fix that?
Easy. Just go to cartomancermagazine.com and scroll down probably a quarter of the way to the page and you will see subscriptions available. And we will be putting pre-sales up for the December issue, within the next month. So keep watch.
Absolutely. And you can get the Cartomancer online or in paper. Is that correct?
Yes. Digital and print.
That's the right way to say it. Digital and print. Right. Got it. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you in January. And I will look forward to your presentation and can't wait to see all the great new writing talent that you find at StaarCon.
Me too. Thanks, Christiana.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for StaarCast. For more information about our annual conference, visit us online at StaarCon.com. That's StaarCon.com. We are looking forward to seeing you in January.